Let's give the floor to Mrs. Constantina and Mr. Georgos.
Okay. First it's going to be Constantina and then George. Yeah.
Thank you, Bambos and all. Shall I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead, Constantina, share your screen.
Thank you very much. So, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you today, even if it's through a screen. Over the next minutes, I will take you through the monitoring, evaluation, and sustainability of the Pythagoras project. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Constantina Ioannou, a manager at PwC Cyprus Advisory Department, where I serve as an external expert dedicated to ensuring the effective monitoring, evaluation, and sustainability of this project. With 7 years of experience leading European and national funded projects, my focus has always been on innovation, entrepreneurship, and transforming the public sector. Interestingly, I began my career in EU funding at the University of Cyprus, working alongside Bambos. So, as we dive into today's presentation, I want to highlight that my role is not just about oversight, it's about ensuring that every activity aligns with our goals and meets the specific requirements of the project. So I assume that you can see the presentation, and I understand we are pressed for time, so I will provide a concise overview of 3 key components: what monitoring, evaluation, and sustainability truly mean, how we propose to implement these concepts, and what our next steps look like. You will notice that these activities are not isolated, they are interconnected and should be continuously updated as the project evolves. We recognize, and you will recognize, that monitoring, evaluation, sustainability, as I mentioned, are not separate concepts. Rather, they work in tandem to ensure effective project implementation and thus maintain its sustainability after completion. Let's kick things off with the monitoring and evaluation plan, and I would like to stand out to 2 points that Bambos shared in his presentation. The first one is that documentation is very critical, and it's all about documents, and you will see that without accurate and high quality data collection, we will not be able to develop the interim and final reports, and therefore provide the European Commission with evidence that we have actually achieved our objectives and targets. To continue with the deliverable submitted to the coordinator is structured around 5 key sections: the purpose and objectives, the framework guiding its development, the implementation plan, the effective data management strategies, and finally, some key considerations for evaluating the project, including risk management and ethics. In particular, during this presentation, I will delve into the definitions of monitoring and evaluation, their significance to our project, the goals and expected outcomes of the monitoring and evaluation plan, its distinct phases, and I will wrap up with how we will achieve effective monitoring and evaluation alongside with some immediate next steps. So, what exactly are monitoring and evaluation? While they often go hand in hand, they serve different purposes. Monitoring is the ongoing collection and analysis of data that helps us track progress, ensure compliance with standards, and adapt strategies as needed. It focuses mainly on resource availability, activity implementation, and identifying risks or issues that may impact our targets. But in contrast, evaluation assesses the impact and value of our actions, allowing us to gain insights from experiences to enhance future interventions. So we'll examine the efficiency, the effectiveness, the relevance, of course, the sustainability and coherence of our activities and outcomes. And now here is the crux. The main difference between these two lies in their timing and focus. Monitoring is continuous, centered on what's happening right now, while evaluation occurs at specific intervals to assess how well things have gone and the impact we've made. But how do these definitions connect to the Pythagoras project and indeed to any project we undertake? Monitoring provides the critical data for evaluation, and elements of evaluation often emerge during monitoring. This data is directly tied to the specific needs and objectives of the project. Thus, without clear targets, we can't conduct effective evaluations to inform our monitoring processes, which means we risk missing important signals that could help us address issues proactively. With this in mind, the monitoring and evaluation plan's purpose is to help us track progress and performance, ensuring that we are consistent and have clear information about the effective implementation of project activities. It is, of course, essential to our project success and our success personally, ensuring timely delivery, budget adherence, and the highest quality standards. This plan sets clear targets to measure success, identify areas for improvement, supporting, of course, project implementation, organizational learning, accountability and compliance with the European standards, let's say, stakeholder engagement, meaning that we have to engage all groups that may influence or be influenced by the project, and of course, celebrating our achievements. Importantly, and I'm going to share it with you today later on, the monitoring and evaluation plan is complemented by a powerful tool. The monitoring and evaluation tool, which is mainly a set of qualitative and quantitative key performance indicators, shortly KPIs, along with a fixed schedule for implementation aimed at establishing quality and evaluation objectives, including project targets, describing processes and techniques for effective monitoring and evaluation, including the calculation methods that we will use to measure the KPIs, and outlining roles and responsibilities of all of us in achieving the project KPIs. Now, what are the specific objectives and goals of our monitoring and evaluation plan beyond achieving project needs and objectives? It establishes, firstly, a consistent monitoring and evaluation framework across all project areas, defining KPIs, data collection, the analysis of the data, reporting criteria to effectively assess our progress and impact. It ensures that we have an accurate data collection process by using both quantitative and qualitative methods, enabling data-driven decision making and highlights areas for improvement. It promotes ongoing updates to monitoring and evaluation processes, adjusts project plans, and bridges gaps between planned and actual results to ensure we stay on track. And this is one of them. This can support the coordinator's proposition to extend the project duration in order to meet its targets. Our goals include ensuring conformity and consistency across all project activities, verifying the achievement of interim and final objectives, identifying and addressing any divergences between planned and actual results, and supporting the adoption of solutions for successful project completion. By implementing the monitoring and evaluation plan, we aimed in these areas to achieve uniformity across all project activities, especially the capacity building activities, which is the main topic of the project, to minimize errors and discrepancies in meeting project objectives, conduct comprehensive evaluations of project performance, support informed decision making, and of course, to enhance project management for more efficient project execution. Now, let's explore the implementation of the plan. This involves two distinct phases that create an ongoing feedback loop, stopping only when the project successfully wraps up. Once we complete the planning phase, we transition into the control phase, which ensures we can adapt based on any discrepancies that may arise. Thus, we, in case of any discrepancies, we have to go back to the planning phase to readjust our planning. The planning phase thus establishes quality standards and defines success. Apologies, something came up on my screen. So I was telling that the planning phase that establishes quality standards and defines success criteria for our deliverables and activities. Here, we focus on agreeing on what quality means for our project outputs. The control phase, on the other hand, verifies that all outputs align with expectations set by our consortium, and by applying these principles, we can effectively manage the costs and risks, ensuring that our project remains on track and delivers the intended value. Monitoring and evaluation draw input from two main sources, internal and external sources. Internally, we monitor the project's progress throughout its life cycle, ensuring that each work package meets its objectives by gathering input from consortium members. That's why we'll frequently touch base with you in order to provide us with any documentation needed in order to update the targets. And externally, we facilitate assessments of the project's impact by collecting feedback from our target audiences. So how do we achieve this? This process involves 4 main steps. The first one is to set our KPIs, which have to be SMART, meaning they have to be specific, they have to be measurable, achievable, relevant, and of course, time-bound, meaning that they have to be completed at a certain period of time. Then the data collection step follows, where we gather high-quality data from various sources, such as surveys and questionnaires, interviews, focus groups, or observational methods, document analysis, case studies, digital tools, regular monitoring, and SWOT analysis. After the data collection, the data analysis follows, which is, I think, the most time-consuming but critical part of the process, where at the end, we have to report the analyzed data, and this is where our monitoring and evaluation tool comes into play. I'm sharing now the monitoring and evaluation tool developed. So as I mentioned, we'll frequently touch base with you to gather information about your activities. This tool lists, as you can see, all tasks and objectives, detailing the type of action, specific targets and KPIs, the calculation methods, the responsible partners, implementation deadlines, their status, and any other necessary clarifications. It will serve as our roadmap for each project milestone, ensuring that we're aligned with the overall objectives and timelines. As you can see, there are some cells which are still blank, and this is because this is just the first draft of the tool, and we'll need your input to finalize it. Going back to the presentation, for your homework for the monitoring and evaluation plan, we'd like you at some point to review both the report and the tool and provide any feedback for improvements. These both reports are not solid. There are live documents that will be updated as the project goes. And then in collaboration with the coordinator, we'll request some additional information to update them accordingly. So that's all for the monitoring and evaluation plan. Are there any questions, or shall I proceed with sustainability plan?
Just a quick question. So it really looks like this is going to be a very interactive process.
Exactly.
You'll be working closely with the consortium. You'll be asking us things, and only if we can provide them will you be able to do your job properly, essentially.
Exactly, Bambo. That's why efficient communication and collaboration from all consortium members is very important. That's why we will work together in order to get the information needed, and not to wait until the reporting period in order to collect all the information, because we may identify some discrepancies, as I mentioned, and we have to find any mitigation actions in order to address these issues accordingly.
Okay, great. Yeah, proceed, Ioanna.
Thank you very much. So let's dive into the heart of our project, as I say, the sustainability plan. Already Bambos expressed the project officer's opinion that this is very important for the project. And in particular, this plan is meticulously structured and around 6 vital sections. It begins with a brief description of the Pythagoras project, followed by the purpose of our sustainability plan. The subsequent slides will outline the methodology we employed to craft the report, an actionable implementation plan, key commonalities for effective realization, and we will finish with recommendations for measuring the impact of our sustainability initiatives. To kick things off, let's define sustainability, particularly within the context of the Pythagoras project. Our goal is to transform our project outputs into long-lasting benefits that maximize scientific, societal, technological, and economic impact. To achieve this, we've identified 3 critical sustainability pillars: financial, organizational, and operational sustainability. Starting with financial sustainability is all about securing diverse funding sources beyond our initial grant. This means we can explore government grants, private sector investments, or other international partnerships to ensure the project's longevity. Organizational sustainability focuses on institutionalizing our project innovations. We want to ensure that the investments made during the project remain functional and productive, maintaining the infrastructure and resources we've developed during the project. And finally, operational sustainability emphasizes establishing robust processes to sustain our project activities effectively post-completion. By scaling results to other institutions, let's say in countries, we aim to create a ripple effect, a maximizing effect, driving systemic change and amplifying our overall influence. As you may have already noticed, the project, and in particular the sustainability plan, is designed to engage a wide range of stakeholders, making it relevant and impactful at every level. There are 2 groups of stakeholders identified: internal and external stakeholders, with the internal stakeholders to include consortium members, academic staff, and students within participating institutions. In contrast, external stakeholders encompass a broader audience, such as industry partners, other partner institutions, organizations, government bodies, of course, policymakers, and international networks, who all these players will play essential roles in the long-term sustainability and expansion of the project. Our methodology for developing the sustainability plan follows a multi-step approach designed to ensure the long-term viability of our project outcomes. It includes 5 key steps. The first step is desk-based research, where we gather data from existing sustainability plans to tailor our approach. And now we are on the second step, the consultations, where we will engage with all of you to validate our findings. As I said before, this is not a solid document, it is a live document and requires iterative refinement. Thus, we will adapt the plan based on feedback to ensure flexibility. The second draft of the plan will be presented to you for final endorsements, and in order to prepare the final plan that will incorporate all the relevant strategies to maintain our project's impact. Now, let's look at the key factors necessary for achieving sustainable outcomes tailored specifically to the Pythagoras project. First, it is important to embed modernized curricula into partner universities to ensure their long-term relevance. Then we need to ensure ongoing training for teaching staff and other relevant staff of the partner organizations on advanced methodologies, which is crucial for maintaining education quality. We have to ensure funding beyond the initial grant, which is also essential for operational continuity. In addition, we have to establish robust governance structures to ensure proper monitoring and adjustment. And finally, we have to collaborate with industry partners and academia, of course, of other academic universities, which is key to promote visibility and impact. And now let's get practical. Our sustainability action plan, our sustainability plan first is accompanied with an action plan, which is structured around 8 thematic priorities, each representing a key focus area for long-term sustainability, meaning that it outlines the actions and the activities that have to be taken by all of us in order to sustain the results of the project. Each priority is supported by specific actions, as you can see, outlined in a clear roadmap format, allowing us to be flexible and responsive to evolving project needs. These actions are supported by practical, detailed activities, which are outlined in the report, designed to be actionable and targeted. Activities are again presented in a table format, providing a clear roadmap for implementation, with each activity tailored again to be flexible and adaptable. The plan also highlights the interconnections between thematic priorities. For instance, the financing channels action is linked to the sustainable digital and institutional ecosystem, showing how financial planning supports long-term infrastructure needs. Of course, monitoring and evaluation mechanisms are also cross-referenced with other priorities to ensure a cohesive strategy. While I won't detail each activity here, I encourage you at some point to review the action plan and provide any comments. The success of our sustainability action plan relies on foundational elements woven throughout the priorities, the key thematic priorities. First of all, a strong stakeholder engagement is needed in order to foster ownership and ensure ensure outputs meet user needs, the students, let's say, needs. Effective communication aligns with stakeholders with our goals and enhances visibility. It is also important to have ongoing development of skills among stakeholders for sustaining innovations. Synergies with similar projects will amplify our impact. And finally, a structured approach on continuous monitoring and adaptation ensures that we remain relevant and effective. Before I conclude the presentation, I would like to present how a robust impact measurement process is outlined and is crucial, of course, and that's why we propose to take these actions as follows. First of all, we have to define the desired impact. We have to clearly outline our goals, focusing on immediate and long-term effects, meaning after the project completion, how the universities want to continue provide these trainings to the students and potentially to other interested parties. We have to involve diverse stakeholders to enrich our evaluation process. We have to develop a theory of change, meaning that we have to link our activities to intended outcomes. Have to choose both quantitative and qualitative metrics for assessment. We have to ensure systematic data collection through the data collection tools that I mentioned before to track progress. We have to do periodic assessments to measure effectiveness and guide adjustments. We have to use insights from evaluations to refine our strategies and thus facilitate learning. And of course, regular communication of results, and this will come from us, will maintain stakeholder engagement. In conclusion, I would also like to reiterate your homework. Please review the sustainability plan and share any feedback for improvement, because you are the direct beneficiaries of this work, and this collaborative effort is mutually beneficial for all of us. Thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoy the rest of the meeting, and if there are any questions, I will be happy to respond.
Thank you for this nice presentation, Mrs. Constantina. Very interesting, really.
Thank you very much. I will also be happy if you have any feedback. I think Bambos and I can share the reports at some point later on, and you will be able to deep dive into the details of the reports and understand the whole surrounding framework around them.